Look here, bro. So I'm working on the 06 I just got. It didn't even have a fuel pump relay in. The fuel pump works. So I'm letting the battery charge up. And then I jacked it up to do an oil change, and it's got a brand new beefy ass starter in it. He didn't put the dust shield back in, so I have one I'm going to throw on it. And then I changed the spark plugs and the wires. So as soon as this battery charges up some, it should fire up. But yeah, I was missing this relay and this bottom 15 fuse. And so I just had this other fucking fuse box laying around. So I just grabbed some relays, and I was like, oh yeah, there's supposed to be a relay there. So threw a relay in it and turned the key on, and fuel pump works. So hopefully this thing will start soon. And then yeah, here's the dust shield for the starter. So, shit, making good progress though. I'm about to drain this oil and do an oil change, and then I'm gonna try to start it up. Alright, so alright, battery's hooked up. 204,000. So let's see how many volts we got. 12.3 volts. Try to throw a little starting fluid in here. Let's see if that'll help. Bam, there she is, guys. It was the coils and ICM. I stole these off the Grand Am engine. This is his eBay Blue Streak. So swap that out, fired right up. Needs some power steering fluid, sounds like. .6 volts. Yep, just did a oil change. Awesome. Radio works. Sweet. Alright, so that sounds like maybe the power steering pump is just going bad. Oh, that's something in the trans. Probably need to add some trans fluid. Looks like it's full. Here, hold on. Alright, had to put the thing down, so I've got no brakes. It did come with some brand new brake pads though. I mean, it does move. Well, I'm going to add some more transmission fluid, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright, so been sitting here idling up to temp. It's not blowing heat, so probably going to have to clean out the heater core. but it's not overheating. It's holding coolant. It's definitely going to need another bleeder valve because that one's been snapped off, so I can't bleed it. Looks like it's probably going to need some lower intake manifold gaskets, but I mean, I did take it to the car wash and power wash this off, so that could be what some of that is. But I mean, overall, like, all I did was swap the coils and the ICM, and it's good to, oh, I did swap the fuse box around, but I'm really guessing that wasn't the issue. I might swap it back. There's the original, just because with that fuse box in, when I turn the key and let go, it would still stay cranking. And now, as soon as I let go, it stops cranking. So that's got the auto crank in that fuse box. But she starts, she runs. And it's just right there at the mark. And I mean, I drove her around. It dries. I got it. It was like a gallon low of transmission fluid, but I saved the fluid out of the 07 Prius transmission. I drained it out before Garrett came and picked it up, and it's good. So, and I just got to figure out why this isn't. This started to blow cold. I just got to figure out why it's not blowing heat. But man, I'm happy with it for 400 bucks. So now I just gotta get some more coils and another ICM for the Grand Am, which I needed to change all that stuff anyways. But man, I'm stoked. So I'll give you guys another update here shortly. All right, you guys. Well, got the car home. There's the truck and the dolly. So I pulled the car off of the dolly, pulled her in the driveway, and she still got the coolant leak, and then now it's got a little bit of transmission fluid leaking. And then we were smelling gas real bad, and come to find out, so the guys I bought the car from, they did a brand new fuel pump, but I guess they didn't do the O-ring seal correctly because it's leaking gas. And I just went and put $30 in gas and filled it up. But, yeah, so it still has its little issues that I need to get fixed, but I think this is going to be a really good car for my mom. It drives great, it shifts good, like, I'm happy, I'm excited about it. So I've got some brand new transmission cooler lines in the back seat for it, so I can get those put on. I need to wire up the fans, because I deleted that ghetto house relay they had in here, and so I'm just going to wire the wires back up how they go. And then that way I won't have to worry about the fans not working. And then I've got another thermostat housing I'm going to pull this bleeder valve out of. Just swap the whole bleeder valve since that one's broke off. And other than that, I mean, I got to go out to the salvage yard and go pull another radiator because this one's leaking. But yeah, after I swap the radiator and the cooler lines and all that stuff, then this thing should be good to go. Shouldn't have any more issues with it, and it should be a good vehicle for my mom. So, and then I have another gas tank over here that I was going to use for the 07, but I guess I'm probably going to end up dropping this tank down, and if it is the seal, then I'll just fix the seal on the fuel pump. But if there's a hole in the tank or something, then I'll just swap that other whole tank. Also, this is throwing a code for the evap something. So, I know this is all plugged in, so I don't think it's anything to do with this. So, the only other thing I could think of is that it's on the charcoal canister on the tank. So, I guess we're going to see how that is. Probably not today. So, I've got to go install an AC compressor on a 2012 Hyundai Accent, and so I have the compressor in my back seat of the truck, so I'm gonna have to go do that here in a little while. Right now I'm waiting for this guy to get here. He's bringing me some wheel spacer adapters, so they bolt onto a 5x114.3, 5x115, and adapts it down to a 5x110. And so these other wheels that I bought, they are not the right lug pattern. They are too small. So hopefully they are the correct size for these adapters that this guy is bringing. And so even without having to take the wheel off, I can just, this is a Grand Prix wheel bearing, so I can just put the spacer on here, make sure it goes on here, put the spacer, the studs part of it in the wheel, make sure they go in the wheel, and should be good to go. So but yeah, so just waiting for this guy to get here. Then I got to go do the AC compressor, and then tomorrow I'll keep working on this thing, and I'll have to take it back over to the storage because can't do any work here this weekend. So just want to give y'all an update, let y'all know what's going on, and let y'all know how the car is doing. So y'all stay tuned. I'll give y'all another update. On the red GXP, got some Summit Racing struts. Still got the rotors on there. Good subframe, trans mount. Still some good stuff on this thing. Engine cover. This strut got bent, but got the caliper, rotors, rear calipers and rotors. I might get some brake stuff off of this thing. Everything in here is gone. GXP cluster. A lot of the interior is already fucked. Anyone needs some parts though. Alright y'all, so I found an '08 Grand Prix. Has a good radiator. So I just started pulling it apart. I'm about to get this radiator out of here with the cooler lines, and then I'll give y'all another update. Well, I just cut the hose and it just started spraying coolant everywhere. So at least I know the radiator holds coolant. It's not leaking. It was dry everywhere. So I'm gonna finish cutting this hose down here and get this disconnected, and I'll give you another update. Alright you guys, so made it back over to the house. This is the radiator that I pulled. And so I just kind of put rags around everything to keep it from leaking. And so I spent $133 total. I got that steel bracket. It's just like this one. And then a few other things. And the radiator. And I got this big intake pipe over here with the mass airflow sensor for 10 bucks. Thinking about trying to use that as the fender well intake. And then I got this harness here for the coils and ICM and stuff for the 3.8, because on the Grand Am I spliced into it like in here somewhere and wired in the harness when I was trying to wire up my engine harness. And now that I bought the one from Gage and it's come in, he told me I just need to get another one of these. And then he's sending me a whole Grand Am 04 harness for it as well. And then yeah, this is that bracket, and it's a steel one instead of aluminum, much heavier duty. So those are kind of sought after, and I found it just laying on the ground next to the car I was working on pulling that radiator out. And yeah, so got me a bunch of goodies today. Went to Walmart, got some more coolant, 1 gallon, and then I got a thing of Freon because I want to charge this. And then but right now I was planning on having to swap this radiator, and so I filled it up with coolant, and now it's not dripping over here, which I find it very odd because the past couple days it's been just steady dripping over on that side. Well, it's still holding. It's right there at the top. But I replaced the snapped off bleeder valve. And yeah, the car's running good. It is still dripping transmission fluid from the fittings under there. So I'm going to have to swap the whole lines with the fittings. I have those back here. So these are the fittings that go into the transmission. And then these just pop in the radiator. So brand new. And then Oh yeah, and then I got that this big ass can of Freon. This was like 50 bucks. But it come with the trigger and the gauge on it. And so I'm gonna charge the AC. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't gonna have to pull the radiator out first before I charge the AC. And then I got to put front brakes on it because the brakes go all the way to the floor. And the reservoir was empty, so I filled it up. And I haven't seen any leaks of brake fluid, so that's good. But maybe it just needs bled. It's still full, so I don't know. Maybe I just need to bleed it. Maybe it just needs pads very, very bad. But yeah, I gotta do front brakes on it. Oil looks good after doing the oil change. Still just above the full mark. So next thing on the agenda is I've got to wire up a relay to all of these fans, or at least wire them back up so that once I charge the AC, then they should all work properly and kick on. But I've got to get a whole nother part of a harness to wire on this, because this is all janky. And yeah, I don't want to roll with them like that. So, but yeah, I don't think I'm gonna do anything else today though. I got a side mirror, and we swapped the side mirror. But yeah, so I think I want to go drive this thing and then see if it's leaking from the radiator or not. And if it's still leaking from the radiator, then I'm gonna change the radiator. But I guess if it doesn't leak, then no point in changing something that's not broken. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go drive this thing, and I'll give you guys another update. Alright guys, so we done got this thing all vacuumed out. Turns out the radiator's not leaking, so didn't have to change the radiator. So I bought a radiator for no reason. But yeah, just been messing around with this. Look, the fans are running with no ghetto relay. The AC's blowing ice cold. The car's all nice and vacuumed out, cleaned out. Got some ice cold AC. So, got a whole bunch of parts back here. The heck yeah, that's the 06. About, what'd I say, like $650 total investment?
Yeah, including the gas.
Including gas and everything I went and bought today. Even though I didn't even use the radiator, I still included it because I bought it for this. But yeah, I already had the bumper pieces in the shed, so nothing to worry there. But yeah, look at there, fucking fans are running, AC's blowing cold. So I do need to put a twisty deal on that wire there and probably electrical tape it. But I just touched it and the fan's kicked on and it's working. AC compressor staying on. So Mama's gonna have herself a nice good car. Heck yeah. Ooh, oh, and that vent is super stiff. Normally these like spin real bad. 132 trans temp. Yeah, see, and I have to keep the brights on because there's no low beam at all. So I don't know, I'm gonna try changing the fuse box back to the original one, and maybe that will fix the headlight issue. But other than that, everything works how it's supposed to. It does need some suspension work, and it definitely needs brakes because they go all the way to the floor. But it did come with some brand new brake pads, front brake pads anyways. So, not bad though. For like 650 bucks total investment. Car runs and drives, stops, AC works. Like, really can't complain. So, I'm happy with it. But yeah, I just want to give y'all an update, let y'all know how everything was going. So I'm gonna keep working on it and give you guys another update. All right, you guys. So car's been sitting in the driveway for about 20 minutes or so. This is just where it overflowed when the cap was off. It's not leaking. I mean, it has like a very slow drip, but I was hearing this little glug. So I don't know if this hose is bad or if there's just a crack in the radiator somewhere. It only has a, see, look, all that was already there. That was transmission fluid from yesterday. But I got the wire nut on the wire, so it at least has high fans. On the other fans that came off of the Blue Impala, it had that harness. I'd cut it off, so I pulled it off. It's in the trunk, and so now I just have to be able to unplug both of these plugs from the fans, and then I can wire that on, run it, plug it into both, and both fans should work properly, and there won't be all these janky wire nuts over here. They'll all be over here and hidden. But I mean, for now it at least works, so I'm happy with it. The AC works, so my mom will have nice ice cold AC for the summer. The car sit here and idled. It never went above half. Like, everything's working properly. If I do end up having an issue with the radiator, I already have another one. So I mean, yeah, so now I just need to do the brakes, bleed them, make sure the brakes are good to go, and then, yeah, Mom should be able to start driving this thing. So, probably not going to do the brakes tonight, but I just want to give y'all an update and let you guys know how everything was going with this thing. So, not a bad investment at all. I'm very happy with the purchase. I ordered some brand new headlights, the exact same ones that are on the 07. And they were 98 bucks. So those are on the way. So she'll have some brand spanking new clear headlights for it. It'll have new brakes. I do need to drop the gas tank because it does have, excuse me, David. Yeah, as you can see over here, it is leaking gas out the gas tank. So I guess when those guys that I bought the car from did the new pump, they must not have put the seal back on right, or maybe they cracked the feed line or something, or I'm not for sure. But I mean, the car runs and drives great. It's got plenty of power. Did 2 little burnouts right there. I mean, it roasted tires, so I'm very happy with it. So now I just got to fix the transmission cooler line leak, and the radiator is not really leaking at the moment, but that will have to be fixed. And I mean, it's just very small stuff right now. So really happy with the outcome for a cheap beater car that came with a title. It's gonna be a good car for my mom. So I think that's gonna be it for this video. So like the video, leave me a comment down below, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.